Market update time, Dow Jones and the Sp500. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright guys, let's have a quick look at what happened last night on the market. So Dow Jones, let's have a quick look at this one here. Dow Jones, just a little doji, not much, very low volume. Things are happening with the Brexit situation. Obviously, you wouldn't expect too much happening. But looking at the charts and looking at what's actually happening here, you can see once again the market ran up towards this level and actually rejected it. Bit of a doji day again. It gapped up just slightly and then ran up, ran down, and basically doji day through there. So that's what there's pretty much a nothing day on the Dow Jones. But if you have a look at the bigger picture to me still says that we're likely to head down overall on this chart. And the reason why I'm looking at that is because if you look at the overall, if you have a look at the overall market, you can see that the market has had a big run down and now we're getting this sort of weak run up through here. So I would actually say, I would think that the next leg is going to be down. Now, it's not going to happen straight away. It might do something like this. It might roll over, might do that, and then head down. You know what I mean? Or it might run up a little bit and then head down. But I think the overall trend for this is indeed down. If you have a look at this trend from here to here and you bring up, say, a blue line, you can see how this trend has actually been, and let me bring up an arrow, you can see the trend has actually been down, where the market has been making these low peaks, and potentially another low peak through here. So these major lows are still, to me on the Dow Jones is telling us what's going on in the markets. And so let me actually just bring that down a little bit. There we go. Right there. So the Dow Jones is telling us what's going on right now, and we're definitely getting, to me, it's an early warning sign. I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, but the early warning sign on the Dow Jones for me is saying that the market's likely to drop. If we go and have a look at, say, the Sp500, let's check out the Sp500 here. Now, the Sp500, same thing, very similar thing, but what you can see is you see the market actually ran up. Now, to me, what this looks like, and as you can see from my charts, to me, what this looks like, it looks like this is getting set up for a downward movement. So the reason why I say that is, once again, if you have to bring up my trend line, you can see how the market ran up through here. I think I was the only one that was bearish through there. The market's dropped down through there. You can see the market's rallied up through here, and it's actually rejecting. It's actually coming down through here right now. So I'm expecting this market to fail through here over the next couple of weeks. I think we're going to break these new highs up here, and then I think the market's likely to drop down through there, make it a red arrow. So with all that being said, you can see that this has been a shoulder, a head, and then our right shoulder is actually forming as well too. So we're building this head and shoulder formation, and then I think we're likely to break down. You can see how the market had this strong selling move and has been this sort of weaker buyer move. That was again, if you look at the buyers, the strength in the moves from the actual markets, you start to get a good understanding of what the market is trying to tell us. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. Nothing is exact science and nothing works perfectly. But if you have a look at, say, for example, this here, we had these strong buyers and you had these weak buyers. I was saying, because we got that, now we're likely to get some sellers. We've got some strong sellers, and now we're getting these weaker buyers going up through there. So I'm expecting to see this sort of action happening right now. That's what I'm expecting now. And in fact, if I bring up my line chart, I have a line chart with the Dow Jones, to the left and the S&P to the right. And if you have a look at just the line chart alone, you'll be able to see what some things I'm looking at here. And the line chart really allows you to see some things are really a lot clearer than, say, maybe an open highlight close. And you can see that I've just got the blank chart by itself. Now, notice this here, right? Notice this here. And this is one thing that's really important to understand. You'll notice that by looking at this point, that point there, is that point there on the S&P. This is that point there on the S&P. That point here on the Dow Jones. You can see how the Dow Jones made this major lower peak, but the S&P made this higher peak. That was my first sign to say something is not right here. The Dow Jones is a lot weaker than the S&P. So that's actually my first sign to say, okay, this is just not right here. And the reason why I say that is if you have a look here, you have a look at this market, this point through here. You see how this market had this lower peak, then it had this higher peak, and it had this lower trough through here. So you can see it had this lower trough through here. What did the Dow Jones do? When it made this higher peak, what did the Dow Jones do? It started forming this lower peak, and it also had this lower trough. So the lower trough was the lower trough. Lower trough made on the Dow Jones, lower trough made on the S&P, higher peak made on the S&P, but a lower peak made on the Dow Jones. And then we started seeing this coming, probably a week or so later. So that's what I'm looking at there. Plus also you can actually see what is trying to form in this market right now. You can see it from glaring obvious of what is actually happening here. Let me take everything off the screen now and let me show you what I'm seeing here. First thing I wanted to show you guys is this. Let me bring up my trend lines. Is if you look at this Dow Jones, you can see the market's come down through here. We're now getting these weaker buys through here. And remember guys, that we've got this ton of areas of resistance up here where the market, that 18,000 level has been just a devastating area for the market to roll over. So for me guys, looking at this area where this market has continued to struggle day in and day out, there was resistance there, was resistance there, it poked its head just above there, it came back down, and look what happened here. It came back down, it rallied up, it rejected off and came back through there. So there's another rejection through there, and it rejected off through there as well too. The market's having a lot of problems getting past that 18,000 level, and now we're rallying up through here. That to me doesn't I just don't see this being well, everything's fine, it's going to break up. No, this market is struggling to break up, and now we're getting this sort of weaker bias through here. That to me says, and I don't know how long it's going to take. It may do that straight away. It may just go straight down with the Brexit, or it may head up a little bit and then we head down. But overall, guys, I don't see us getting past 18,000. Now let's go have a look at the S&P. The S&P, you can actually see that we've actually had these levels through here. So let me bring up a line. So we had that level through there, and you can see how we've got this resistance level through here as well too, that resistance level through there as well, and you've got this whole area of resistance where it is right now through there. So you can see that through there. But what you can see is, once again guys, if you look at the strength in that move, you can actually see what's actually going on here. If I bring up say a line, let me bring up say a red, you can see how the market's actually head down, and then the market's now heading back up through here into these areas of all these resistance. That to me guys is saying we're likely to head down and start to fall over through here, roll over through here. The market's getting ready. The market's actually showing us what's going on. And with the Dow Jones be the weakest and the S&P, I don't care what happens with the Brexit. The Brexit might come out and the whole thing, they might stay. They might stay in the euro. They might stay in the euro, and even if they do and the market heads up, I think the market's going to head up for short term, and then the market drops off. So, but either way, guys, we either head straight down after the Brexit, or a couple of days later into July. Into July, I see this market rolling over big time. So again, guys, this is coming straight from the charts. It's not from a moving average. It's not from an indicator. It's not nothing like that. When you start to read the actual market itself and look at the swings and the peaks and troughs, the market starts to speak to you. And so for me, guys, this market's been running up and running up and running up. We're not bulling out of the gate and just continue making new highs. To me, even if the S&P continues up and has another 0.5% or 1% or even a 1% up day, I see this as just being a little move, and then we're likely to break down big. So let's see what happens with the Brexit. But I think the Brexit is irrelevant to what the bigger picture and what the charts are really telling us. Going to BS you here. Trading is hard. Over my 10 years of trading, I've learned some amazing systems and strategies, and I've put it all in my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls course, and I'm giving you 100% free access. This whole course is 12 videos long and almost 10 hours of the best systems and strategies that I know. Click on the image below now to get 100% free access right now.